Premiere episode of the Fern Force Look Back podcast coming at you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Baylan Wysuph. Thank you for tuning in. This is the first full episode of this new project coming to FCC, the first episode, January 2022. So this episode features segments like BTS to the 2021 Rewind, a look back on our project Fern Force, a segment called 2021 in Numbers, and finally stop looking at the past and give a little insight on what is happening writing-wise so far for the 2022 project. So if you're excited, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. We're pretty close to hitting about 50 subscribers, which would be an awesome milestone. So if you could help us in that effort to reach our goal, that would mean actually the world to us. And everyone FCC. So without further ado, please sit back and enjoy episode number 001. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the swing of things here at the Fern Force Look Back podcast. Really fast before we get into all of the amazing segments coming this episode. Just really fast, let's just kind of explain what we're going to be doing here at the Fern Force Look Back podcast, just in case you missed the trailer or whatever. You just need a little refresh. So this is a podcast about Fern Force Cinema, if you didn't guess, hosted by yours truly, Baylan Wysuph, and this is a once a month show. So we have a planned episode releasing once a month, and then the releasing schedule is very specific, and it is one full episode will be released on the fourth Friday of every month, if that makes sense. So count the calendar on the fourth Friday of every single month. That's when an episode will come out, right? So it's this episode is being released January 28th, which is the 4th Friday of January. Can't be that difficult. So that's 12 episodes a year, and I'm going to try to have one guest at least every episode. I know it might not happen at sometimes, but we're just going to try to get as much new voice as we can. But here are some ways to listen to the Fern Force Cinema podcast. So number one, big way is through the Fern Force Cinema YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading trailers and full episodes, kind of best moments and shorts and whatever, all on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, you haven't checked it out, you should definitely go do that. So all the episodes are getting released on that. Also, I use Anchor FM to make these. Hopefully sponsorship should be coming soon. But so you can listen to the show on Anchor FM. We're already on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iTunes. I can link those all in the description if you want to check them out. Leave us subscribe on those. And of course, we'll have more coming soon. So I'll try to reach out to as many platforms as possible to try to get as most people listening to it as they can. So, all right. Enough with that. Let's actually get into the meat and bones of this episode. Next segment we are doing is behind the scenes of the 2021 Rewind. Let's get on with it. Guys, every year, one of my favorite projects to help out in is the Rewind every single year. I love to direct and edit that, and this year was absolutely no exception. I think this year's Rewind was much better than last year's Rewind, just because I feel obviously then it was Baylan Wysuph Films, and now it's Fern Force Cinema, and now it's generally more of a group project, so I thought it would be just more fitting if we had pretty much the entire cast and crew featured on the episode. And I promise you, we tried to give Maddie some lines and she delivered on the lines that she could deliver on. But I think kind of putting Maddie at the very end of that video, just kind of the bow on top, really summed it up. So we're just going to kind of go into some BTS. I'm not super scripted at this point. I'm just going to kind of talk about it. I did, however, delete my actual editing video of it on iMovie is what I did it on. So I'm just going to kind of be talking from memory. So if it's kind of slow at some points, that is why. But we filmed it over our winter break on December 22nd and 23rd. I think we did everybody on the 22nd except Kellen. Can't remember exactly where he went, but it went pretty smoothly. We just kind of hung out after that. So that was really smooth. And then Kellen, obviously we filmed his on the 23rd. And then I finished the editing process. I honestly might have been the 23rd or 24th. I can't remember what it was, but I know I had it done like about a week before it was actually going to come out on December 31st. So that would make sense if it was on the 24th. But um, so the editing process of this was very scripted because I kind of had this paper that had obviously the segments, which was the introduction, the timeline, like the stats of the year, and then just kind of like an off script what all of the cast and crew's favorite moments of Fern Circle Cinema was, and just especially this last year. So that was the layout of it. Oh, and then at the very end we had the coming in 2022 thing, which hopefully stirred the pot a little because I know we have a lot of people wanting to know about that. But yeah, so we'll kind of start it off with the introduction. So I started the introduction like on December, I want to say like at the very early days of December. And I kind of like just made one little video on We Video, which was the introduction, and the coming in 2022, which was the final segment, like the closing thing. So at the beginning, we have this like old film, scratchy type thing, and then kind of over that, I lapped 2 bars to make it more cinematic, and then like a twisty countdown. Yeah, that sounds really stupid if I don't know the name of it or if there even is a name. But like it's when there's a circle goes around like 4, 3, it's kind of like the old film thing. So kind of wanted to do that. And then it's always, everywhere I look, it's always black and then white letters. And that's kind of always something we've always done for our title screen. So just kind of switch it up, be bright, signify new year. So I did white on black actually. So white background, black letters, and actually the music for the introduction changed, I want to say 3/4 of the way through. So at the beginning, it was a song, OK Overture by AJR was our first pick of the song, and that's how I originally made the video. And it was kind of like musically in sync with the words. It was a part in the middle of the song. AJR is kind of the neighborhood's favorite artist ish. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. And they have a good beat drop in the middle of that song that fit pretty well when it said like Fern Circle Cinema presents. But then I'm not exactly sure what made me want to change it, but I did at one point and I added this kind of like 60s hip hop remix drop thing, which I just thought it just felt better to me for some reason. I know it was kind of better for copyright. I think we got copyrighted either way, but still. Um, so just keep in mind, like when it says like featuring, and then all of our names kind of start to switch. That was originally synced with the music, but when I put in the new beat, it worked. It worked just fine. So that was that. And then at the end, I just kind of faded out the music and put in a TV turn off screen, just like a template in We Video. I'm just kind of put it at the end and synced it up with the music as well. So then we have like the introduction, I think, of me just explaining what it is. And then we have the timeline, which was super fun to do. It was very fun to like go back as I was writing the script and then see who like what was gonna do, say like what parts and whatever. And then I think kind of a big part of the whole rewind is kind of like it's still stretched out to about 5.5 minutes, but it feels quick. And I think I kind of did that because for every segment, so obviously the introduction, there was that beat drop. And then when I'm talking, there's a different song. And then when we do the timeline, there's a different song. So like every single segment you can kind of tell is like split up by like these different songs kind of faintly in the background, and some of them are slower and more sentimental for when everyone's talking about their favorite parts, and then there's more quick uh for like the stats segment because that was just kind of like a more quicker segment. So I feel like that was another kind of subtle thing I put in that just kind of like just made the video quicker, and you're like you kind of feel like you want to keep watching it just because it's kind of quick like that. So we have the timeline, then we have stats, which were fun. I think we have a segment later in the episode about all the stats, which we'll get into that looking back on 2021. And then the very end, we're also going to talk about that kind of later, but a little editing. So I just put in a title screen that says coming in 2022. Well, no, actually, way before that, actually, I put in like some just kind of template of like uh message getting spread to the world. It's like the Earth, and then there's a little like, I don't know, pipe sticking out or something that's like emitting some kind of signal. Um, so I just kind of wanted to start it off. I wanted that to kind of be a feel throughout the whole thing, like kind of like fresh and almost organic for some reason. So it organic, don't that's not the right word, but like I just kind of want it to feel like kind of fresh and like using these like old timey things. So I did that, and then over the signal emitter, there's like two black bars kind of moving in, just making it feel more like cinematic again, like something's happening. And then a cuts to black, beat comes in, and it says coming in 2022. And I'm pretty sure the four things that we said were coming were the Forensic Cinema podcast on January 28th, the website in March. I think we're gonna set a date for that pretty soon. We'll keep you posted for that. And then the French Cinema Trivia Tournament, which is something I was very excited about. So I have the whole thing done already. So that's just kind of ready to happen when it happens, in June or May or whatever, whenever that happens. And then obviously the 2022 project, which I can say I might save this for later, but there's gonna be more than one thing I think is gonna be the big thing coming in 2022, which I'll again talk about that in a little bit later. But I think that's kind of it. That's just kind of all the things editing wise. I did kind of half of it on WeVideo, half of it on iMovie, because the introduction and the coming in 2022 segments were made on WeVideo, but then the timeline, stats, and like what we most like about FCC was on iMovie. So I just kind of exported WeVideo, then put it all together, and then uploaded it like a week before, and then it was just about marketing. So I made like 3 or 2 shorts about it, saying like rewind then and now, and I don't know, it's one of my favorite projects for some reason. I just kind of like collaborating with the whole group and looking back on what we did like in the span of 12 months. And I don't think that this was our biggest year. I still think 2019 was our biggest year, just because that was kind of our like starting year. That was when we released more than one project. And uh, Fern Force, this will be said later, but Fern Force was originally planned. Our very first blueprint of it was 2 seasons of 8 episodes that we were going to squeeze out in one summer. So 16 episodes. First season was going to come out in like August. Second season was like in January or February or something like that. Obviously didn't happen, but we'll talk about that in, I think, the next segment. So it's actually a pretty good that's a good transition here. So we're going to talk about all like everything for Enforced, do a kind of little deep dive of every episode. Well, very good to know that WeVideo has a 10-minute cap on recording. It's a learning curve, you guys. We're going to be really good at this by the end of the year. I promise. This is not my first rodeo with podcasting. I have some pretty nice equipment here, but 10 minutes. I'll keep an eye on that. I won't get cut off short every single time. So, guys, our next segment is we're going to be looking back on Fern Force and doing a little deep dive on the 3 episodes that come out. We're going to talk a little bit about what Fern Force was planned to be, just like I was talking about, and just kind of what it like turned out to be. So, again, we'll talk about this again. The original plan of Fern Force, which was talked about in our 2021 summer announcement video, was we were going to have 2 8-episode seasons of Fern Force. Okay. And I just want to say all of 8 episodes, season 1 of Fern Force is written. Like, I have 8 full finished, kind of good scripts, but we just happened to only use 3 of those 8. And let me tell you, so this was a very new thing that we had never done before, right? Because we had been making short films for 2 years, and we had never done an original series, and it was planned out to be kind of a pretty cool thing. And I must say, it did not turn out as cool or as my vision I had it writing all throughout winter and spring. And I had a really good kind of writing sprout in May where I busted out, I swear, like 5 scripts and it feels like 3 weeks, which is very good. So we're gonna do 2 seasons. I'm pretty sure we canceled or at least postponed season 2 pretty early on because we didn't actually get to filming the first episode of Fern Force until I think it was June 28th might be the actual day because I remember I made a shorts about it saying like something happened today. Um, but and even going into filming episode 1, we were still thinking that we were going to do at least 8 of these episodes. So we did episode 1 in June and I kind of know like all right, so we have to do 8 of these. We're going to be gone cuz we're all kind of going on vacations and camping on these different days, which is it's totally fine. It's just a lot to like schedule, and then the Bo and Maddie, kind of big characters in the show, were out for like a week and a half, so we had to squeeze episodes beforehand. And then I had my own film camp for like all of the week beforehand, so I couldn't do. It was just a lot of scheduling we had to do. So I think we had episode 1 and episode 2 planned as what they were, and done and filmed. I think by July 2nd, maybe were episode 1 and 2 done. And at that point, when we were done filming episode 2, I kind of knew the schedule we had because I knew we were going to get very busy with the honors on August 13th. So I think right around July is when we had a meeting and we kind of cut it down from 8 episodes to 4 episodes. So already what we were going to do 16 was now 8, and then at that point was 4 episodes. So I think we were going to do obviously Attack of the Robo Rabbit, Plummeting Pinch Poop, which we have done. And then I can't remember what the third one was, and then the finale was Return of the Robo Rabbit, which is a done and written script, but did not get to it. So it comes around. We then film Runaway Puppers on I think mid-July or so, because we were done filming the whole show before the honors. We might have even done it on August. I'm not totally sure. But when we were filming Runaway Puppers, we didn't know that that was going to be our last episode. Like we were just filming just like it was another one, and we know there's going to be another episode, but it just never ended up happening. I'm not totally sure why. I know we got totally swamped with the honors, and then school started, I think, literally the next week. And we're going to say, yeah, we'll keep filming on the weekends. Like we can still get maybe a 6. I lied. We were going to do 6 episodes, not 4. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I had it wrong. So we were gonna say like we're gonna just keep filming it over the weekends and definitely try to squeeze out a full season, like 6 episode season, and we just kind of never did. And then it just kind of like school happened. We all were kind of focused on that. We kind of like forgot about everything, I want to say, for like 2 months, all of September and pretty much all of October, where I didn't edit. We didn't release anything on YouTube. We weren't filming anything. We weren't filming YouTube outside of Fern Circle Cinema. I think we were all just kind of focused on school and our own personal things at that time, when I kind of had like this realization that I want to release something, and we have this partial amount of this thing that we wanted to create that is just going to have to do because we want to release just something. And that's when kind of all 3 episodes were done. They were edited. We were music. We had the soundtrack. We had trailers done. And that's when we set the date where I'm pretty sure the first trailer came out November 12th. Second trailer was the 21st. And then came the weekly upload. So that was kind of beforehand of everything that went into the release of Fern Force. So it was a much, much bigger project than what it came out as. But I mean, it kind of is what it is. We still got to release something. It was still our 21 project. I'm still proud to say it was our 2021 project. We still put in work. There was good acting. We had so much fun filming it. And yes, it's a little sad that a lot of writing time was not necessarily wasted because it was, I guess, good exercise at that point, but I don't know. All right, so episode number 1, Attack of the Robo Rabbit. The villain in that episode is arguably Lily's character, which is Leslie, but mostly the Robo Rabbit. And what we used for that was our dog's toy. We call him Mr. Bunny because my dog Willow chews him very much, very stinky, and I can now regretfully say that Mr. Bunny is gone. He is very much in the trash and out the garbage truck around the corner. That's been gone for a really long time. So we didn't really have any costume design on it. We had the script done, filmed it early June. Lily did a lot of the effects that had to do with the bunny. Like she put tin foil around the ear and like colored it with a marker, and then helped us do some special effects with that. I can't really think of a lot of extras that had to do with that. We all gathered our different Nerf guns around. Thought it'd be funny if my character Josh had the smallest Nerf gun. I think that's kind of it. Song of that episode was Top of the World by Zayd Wolf, kind of featured in a couple little parts of it. But I think you can just kind of like tell that it's just different from what we do. Like we have the black bars, it's smaller, but there's just like still, I would say, the same amount of work that went into it. Like it was still kind of a long editing process. At least 4 songs, I would say. Just most of them are just like royalty free, so people wouldn't know them. But that's kind of Attack of the Robo Rabbit. I can say that it is my personal favorite episode. Um, Writing wise, that is not my favorite script. I would say that's maybe top 4. I can tell you my favorite one, even though it won't make sense. We had like a museum spy episode planned. We had a secret mafia planned where it kind of turned Fern versus Fern. Um, Return of the Robo Rabbit. Yeah. So of the episodes we released, Attack the Robo Rabbit was definitely my favorite. So then the next episode we released was Plummeting Pigeon Poop, which was the first thing. Plummeting Pigeon Poop made a little bit of Fern Circle Cinema history, and let me tell you why. It was the first episode or just project in general that was written by more than one person, and it kind of formed the writing team in general, right? I kind of lead it. I still kind of start and do most of the scripts, but it was kind of Kellen and I that really worked on this episode together, and I kind of made the first outline, then he added to it, and then we like finished it off together, and we were really happy with how it ended. The episode gets very chaotic at parts, and I think the first thing that kind of pops in my mind, which is this is a good one now that I think about it. First of all, the cold open. To start off, Kellen in his uh short shirt and skirt. I have no idea how that idea started, but it made the final cut, and it just ended with tripping and him crying. But I think the first thing that was kind of the more memorable moments of season 1 was me in that episode getting pooped on by a bird, and how we did that was I can't remember if it was Kellen or Bo, but maybe Kellen because he was taller. But obviously, I was sitting down at that table. I think maybe Bo or Harper was filming it. Then we go 3, 2, 1, and then Kellen has to aim. It was sunscreen, by the way, and Kellen had to aim the sunscreen and like whip it over my face, and it kind of landed perfectly and like dripped on my cheek and down my neck and in my shirt, and it was worth it. And hey, joke's on you guys. Maybe I got messy, but I have sunscreen on, so I didn't get sunburn. So, who's the real loser? Still me. So that's kind of the big thing. And then in the script, there was a lot. There was like 2 more times that stunt had to be performed. I think it was when the birds were attacking and the alarms get sounded, the by far most chaotic part of season 1. It was supposed to happen on Harper, I think, and Maddie. But then obviously that didn't happen, and then it was gonna happen again at the end of the episode, when Kellen's character gets the attention of the bird, so then Bo can then scare them off, and then Fern Force wins. We're so happy. So yeah, it was definitely a more quiet day in Fern Circle Cinema when we filmed that, because we basically had a cast of 4 that entire time. Maddie helped out in the beginning, but then got kind of tired of it. So Maddie left about halfway through, which is totally fine. Which like didn't really like make that big of a difference. So it was mostly just me, Kellen, Bo, and Harper kind of doing this whole project. And I'm kind of happy how it turned out. Music was slightly odd just because there was more than one episode that was kind of featured at in that during the course of that episode. It was Plugged In by Repeat, and I think it was Mysterious GFOTY by GFOTY. Looking back, the music for the cold open could have been a little more synced, or just kind of more with the feel, but I just kind of like went with it as it went. I think it turned out good. So I love the chaotic part when we were like the birds come and the alarm sound and everyone's screaming, and then oh my gosh, the garage scene where we're in the garage and Kellen's character and Bo's character have to like kind of pump each other up to go finish this and save Fern. That took us so long to film. I don't know what made us laugh about that scene, but I cannot hold it together. Kellen cannot hold it together. Bo, it was bad. Bloopers, the best bloopers of season 1, Fern Force is coming soon. I'm really excited for that video to happen, and you'll see that took us a very long time and an unusual amount of time to film this one, maybe 45-second scene that ended up making the cut. So yeah, that's Pigeon Poop, and then I think it's Runaway Puppers that kind of has the most little um like Easter eggs to kind of dive into. So Runaway Puppers kind of opens with the Wysup's dog, which is me and Lily, we're siblings. Our dog Willow, and then Kellen and Harper's dog Ryder, which Ryder has gotten much bigger at the time because he was just a puppy when we filmed that. But so story is they have the dogs, they mysteriously disappear. Harper gets mad. Maddie's character wants my character off the officials board, and then they search for it. So, yeah, so we had Ryder and Willow were the dogs. No dogs were hurt in the filming of the episode. And then for the part where there was crumpets, we honestly kind of unlikely of me, but we just like kind of went into it like we'll figure out the prop for that. I don't know what it is. We're gonna film the episode and kind of keep mentioning the word crumpets, as in we have crumpets to film with, which we didn't. So what we used were nut thins that everyone kept eating. So we kind of had to use the very bottom of the bag for our crumpet prop, and they didn't really look like crumpets, but yeah, it worked. So Lily's character comes back. Leslie, you kind of see her like bad intentions coming back because she wants to kick Josh off of the officials board, which in the end she does, which is the season 1 ending, which is me getting kicked off the officials board, which I made it absolutely the most dramatic as I could, even though again that was not supposed to be the ending of the show, or at least season 1, because we had a good ending. I really liked the episode 8, the finale, but it is what it is. I'm still kind of happy how it turned out. But that was Runaway Puppers, Tag the Robot, Plumber Pinch Poop. I think that is it. So just keep in mind we had very big intentions for Fern Force, and although it didn't really turn out as much as we wanted it, it was still such a fun project to film on the very warm summer days, squirting uh sun lotion. Oh my gosh, mind is completely blanking right now. You know what I'm talking about. But no, yeah. So that was kind of Fern Force. Very fun. Is not what it was hoping to be, but it was still super fun to film. So, all right, our next segment is we are going to be looking at 2021 in the numbers. We're going to be looking at some stats that you have not heard of, and then after that, talking about the 2022 future. Because boy, oh boy, do we have a bright one. All right, we'll be back. All right, so really quick, I'm gonna leave a. If you're listening to this on Spotify, that is very convenient. If not, then just kind of disobey me. Leave a comment down below or whatever. Um, but would you guys like it if these episodes were more scripted or less scripted? Because this episode, I was planning it for it to be pretty scripted, and it's kind of not these past couple segments. Um, so this is gonna be very off script. I'm just looking on YouTube Studio in channel analytics because we're just kind of looking back on 2021. I'm just gonna be like just looking at our numbers. So I don't have a script to follow. I'm just gonna be kind of browsing this and like saying whatever I want. So if you guys want this to be more scripted and like more of organized, then just let me know. But if not, then I can make it less or more, whatever you guys want. All right. So in 2021, let's check here. We had a total of 724 views. It's not bad. I'll take that. 13.9 watch hours, almost 14, and 23 new subscribers, which for how little views I think we got, because let me check, compared to 2020. Um, oh, that's 2022. Never mind. I was kind of scared. I'm like, 36. It's not a lot. Anyway, because I feel like we definitely got more views in 2020. Um, but I think our subscribers definitely made up for it. We had kind of big growth. So in 2021, our biggest videos were still "Hello, No Time for Goodbye." That thing um continues to keep getting views. Got almost 50 this year. Fern Force Season 1 official trailer was technically, though, our biggest video, because it was new, at 38, which isn't a bunch, but still. The 2020 Rewind has 34 views, which hopefully our new one will surpass that. Summer announcement video, I'm glad that did pretty well. How I Made This Year's Honors, one of my favorite exclusives, 24. Oh, I was gonna make a video about the honors this year. I definitely did not. It's always one of my favorite things to do. So, um, all right, let's look into audience. So, 20. Hold on, we're still loading. All right. So, this is 2021. We were up 10% in subscribers, which that's 10%. That's pretty good. Take that. 64% of the viewers in 2021 were subscribed, 35 were not. That's very good. Very happy. United States was our biggest geographic locations. Couldn't do a lot for gender and no subtitles. Most people said it to English though. Very interesting. Okay. Check reach. I don't know what this is, but I need water with this. Okay. Um so let me just check really fast. In 2021, we had 6.3 thousand impressions, which is up 155%. That's pretty good. We'll take that. Impressions click through rate 5.5%, which is down 23. That's okay. And then we actually compared to 2020, we were up 51% in views. That's very good actually. I thought we were a little lower for that, but that's definitely good. Traffic source types, 44% were channel pages. Browse features 14, YouTube search was only 10. Google search had 10% of our external traffic source. Okay. This is fun. Look at this. So much to look at. Traffic source YouTube search Baylan at 1.3%, Force trailer at 1.3. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment you've been waiting for at 1%. I don't even know. That's from Greatest Showman. And we showed up when you search up ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment you've been waiting for. I don't know. I don't know. Our biggest playlists for Traffic Source was a Fern Force one. That's what I like to see. New project, get it. Shorts at 29. I really like shorts. It's really fun for me. 7.2 exclusives, hello and honors. Okay. This is pretty slow. 7.7% from YouTube recommending your content. Like total? I don't know what that means. Okay, what does engagement? This is super fun. Right, guys? Aren't you loving this? This is so much fun. Watch time was 13.9 hours, which is down 8%, and then our average view duration is 1 minute and 9 seconds, which is down 39. Dang, I guess it kind of makes sense though, because we had much shorter uh much shorter videos this year. But 2022 we're gonna have very long videos, because if I'm uploading these episodes every single day, that is, or not every single day, but like these full episodes, which are pretty long. Top videos in watch time is Hello to Time for Goodbye. Makes sense. I think it's our longest. Top videos by End Screen was the Run Shorts. That's parts of my favorite shorts. It was our first one. Top playlist Fern Force makes sense. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. So, as you can tell, pretty laid back segment, but we're gonna wrap up this premiere episode of Fern Circle Cinema Podcast by talking about what this year has to offer. Because let me tell you, what we are working on right now and what kind of is writing right now is something pretty big. So that's next on the Fern Circle Cinema Podcast. Okay, really fast. I do want to apologize for not having a guest on the premiere episode. I had plans that we were going to have Kellen and Lily hop on, but it did not work out. Kind of last minute. Episode comes out on Friday, and I'm working on this the week before. I just planning it out. It just doesn't work. Might as well record the whole thing. But guys, this whole episode we have looked at what we have done, at what we filmed, what we put out, what you can watch right now, and what is in the past, and what is complete. But there is a very bright future and a very big year planned in Fern Circle Cinema, and this finale segment is just gonna kind of let you know what what's in the pot right now. What we're kind of looking at to add to this year, because we don't add too much, because blowout would result in us not releasing anything for 5 months. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. But we still want to we want to hit that 50 by the end of the year at least. um and just kind of just I want to be active. I want to stay busy. I want to focus on one thing, and I think I'm going to do that this year, which is Fern Circle Cinema. So here are our projects so far that you know about, that I don't want to say 100% doing, but is most likely hopefully going to happen. Fern Circle Cinema Podcast. Did you know that's a thing? I don't think we've talked about it yet, but that's going to come soon. Um, from the Rewind, we have the official Fern Circle Cinema website coming in March. I think Lily and I are going to collab on that, really make it just a super fun one-stop shop for Fern Circle Cinema. And then we have the trivia tournament that, as I was writing it down, I kind of felt like June might not be the right time to do the trivia tournament, even though that's what I said in the Rewind, just because summer is obviously when it gets busy, right? Because that's when we film, and then we have the honors, and then editing, and actually releasing it in trailers, blah blah blah. So I think the trivia tournament might be pushed earlier to May. And any of you listening can compete if you want, and I can say there are very good prizes. If for someone, because I know there's someone out there that loves Fern Circle Cinema. um, but yeah, so it's if you like Fern Circle Cinema, you really like the prize. If not, then I mean, have you still won something. But obviously the big thing that is kind of titled by every year, right? 2019 was Runaways and Hello. 2020 was Hello and Time for Goodbye. 2021 was Fern Force. And if you count that, what is that? That is Hello 1, Runaways 2, Hello and Time for Goodbye 3, Fern Force 4. What is FCC 5? I think that's what we're going to call it right now, FCC 5. That's kind of what we're going to be saying it as. We're going to say, I'm going to hint at FCC 5. I'm going to say something right now that is never before heard. That is something very exclusive to the podcast that only the people that are listening right now, which could be absolutely nobody, but ladies and gentlemen, this summer, Fern Force is going to return to a certain degree. Don't get too excited. I know you're absolutely screaming in your chair. Um, there is a Fern Force special coming this summer that we are going to work on that is kind of a big copy. No, inspiration off a movie that came out in December that we are now bringing into Fern Circle Cinema. And it is going to be a Fern Force special. Okay? So they're back. I do not want to say any more of it. That's podcast perk is we are doing a Fern Force special this summer that is almost done writing. We're getting close to the pre-production stage, and that I know I've talked about with everyone, and that we're all very excited about, and it's gonna be an event. It is going to be it's not gonna be groundbreaking, but it's pretty cool to us. And if you like Fern Circle Cinema, you will really like this Fern Force special. So that is all I'm saying for that, but that is not the FCC 5. It's part of it. It makes up FCC 5, but that's not just it. So, um the truth is we don't know what it is yet. We have talked about the possibilities, right, of maybe a Fern Force season 2, maybe like a Runaways 2 or something, maybe a brand new project, maybe a new series. It's kind of all out in the air right now. And something that is very special to everyone that listens to the podcast, I'll keep you very much posted if we make big decisions. Like we might have a 2022 summer announcement video like we did last year. Um like we might do that, or I might have that in the form of a podcast or something, but FCC 5 is going to be big. Okay? It's going to be big. You already know. I've already said a little bit of it, which is kind of big. The Friend Force special is coming. I'm excited about it. Everyone is pretty much excited about it. And then what the actual big part of FCC 5, we don't know what it is yet. Okay? I would hint at you because I love dropping little teasers, but I don't know. I've been doing kind of a lot of like exercising writing, um and I'll kind of like get into it for like 3 days, but I haven't really finished anything yet. But if I could say something, um I have been focusing a lot and doing, not by all means is this going to happen, but I've been looking a lot at ways to expand the Runaways universe. Okay, Runaways was our 2019 project, and some parts of Runaways could come back to life in 2022. Not saying that it could, that's just for some reason that's the only place my mind is going right now, is writing off Runaways. So if I can't think of anything else, I just said it, but I that's probably not going to be it. But just Little hint, Fern Force special, possibly Runaways universe expanding to some degree. But one of the things that goes off with FCC 5 that I had this idea, haven't really talked about with anybody, another huge podcast perk, because absolutely nobody could be listening to this right now, but if somebody is, there is a slight possibility that if we talk about it and if we kind of agree to a certain extent, that we can create a form or something to have you guys decide what we do. Because we don't really know what you guys want most. If you want a season 2, or if you want a Runaways 2, or if you just want something absolutely brand new, which is always a super good option. We haven't really heard from you. So if you're a very loyal fan, and if you're just truly a part of the Friend Circle Cinema community, we can give you a very large power in the decision making of what we do for FCC 5 in the 2022 project. That is that was a lot. That was a big bomb there, right? We have Fern Force special is confirmed. Possibility of something to do with Runaways, possibility of something to do with you can decide what our 22 project is. But then again, it's January. Most likely won't start production until July or June. So everything is very much early in the dust. So that is that. That is 2022. That is our future, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are very, very excited, because as you can tell, I'm very excited. You guys, that was episode number 1. That was a lot. This is gonna be such a fun project. Baylan Wysuph from Fern Circle Cinema signing off, and I will see you all very, very soon.